So, happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. So, every time I say that glad that we are here in Satsang, uh, basically to me, it's something that is that I was thinking about this morning. Um, is the audio okay? Over there? Yeah. So, we can hear a lot of inspiring things. We can listen to some mesmerizing music, but then there is something much more and far beyond that. And that I think is what we are here for. Um, इसको थोड़ा सा हल्का so so basically if we think about what is yoga, yoga is unison with that uplifting and positive energy. So if yoga is uplifting positive energy being embodied, this feedback. So maybe there is some feedback here, but so this morning I was thinking about uh, when we talk about satsang, when we talk about yoga, we are actually talking about being with that energy, being with that, living with. So can we live with that transcendental energy that just transcends us beyond any of these? So yeah, inspiring words are great, mesmerizing music, and music can take us to a very, very, very high level. But then there is something beyond that, and that's what we're talking about when we talk about yoga and satsang. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about mental resilience and in general about our mental capabilities, because the more I have thought about that topic, I feel that there is such an integral connection of our mental faculties with the spiritual awareness. So we want to be at a higher consciousness level, at a higher level. We want to be more aware. At the core, I think what Guru Maharaj said was start with mental resilience. Start with concentration, focus of our minds in a way that we can go beyond that. Go beyond. So first, control our minds, and then go beyond that. That's what spiritual awareness and spiritual, you know, um, being at a higher spiritual level means. But the foundation is mental resilience. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. So Anita ji, if you could, um, put some more light, and then we'll practice that, because satsang, in my view, helps us build this mental resilience, which is so important for our day-to-day lives, because without mental resilience, it's hard to deal with the ups and downs of life. So, Anita ji.
Namaskar, everyone. Good morning. I'm joining from Cleveland today. So as Sanjeev ji just mentioned, our focus on this weekend retreat is mental resilience. Mental resilience is typically defined as the ability to bounce back from adversity. This skill can vary significantly among individuals and can be seen in all shades. On one end of the spectrum are people with little or no resilience who feel extreme distress when faced with any challenge and find it difficult to recover. And on the other end are individuals with seemingly limitless resilience who remain even-keeled in the face of all hardships. The greater the depth of resilience in a person, the greater is their ability to cope with adversity. The level of mental resilience in a person need not be static. Regular practice of meditation makes us more resilient and contributes to a better life experience. In a previous communication, Arvindji, who has, I think, joined today, had wonderfully described how regular meditation over time leads to physical changes in specific areas of the brain due to the quality of the brain to be able to change, also called neuroplasticity. So, in other words, meditation, if performed regularly, can change the brain in a way that positively impacts our emotions and behavior and enhances our ability to manage anxiety and strife associated with that adversity, thus making us more resilient. This bears true for any version of meditation, but meditating on transcendental energy, which we do in our meditation sessions, provides additional benefits in further improving mental resilience as, over time, we learn to leverage its positive influence on our mental capabilities. We generally define mental resilience as the ability to bounce back from adversity. So the deepest level of mental resilience, therefore, would be a state where no adversity, however severe, can drag us down, and there remains no need to bounce back. This means that we develop an ability to stay even-keeled and maintain a steady internal state, even when faced with exceedingly adverse circumstances and events. Those who have been associated with Ramashram Satsang for some time have seen many practical examples of individuals who have developed astonishing levels of mental resilience, which has been on display as they faced extreme adversity. Pandit Mihilalji, who was one of the key figures in our satsang, used to say that I cannot say that adversities will not come your way when you associate with Ramashram satsang, but I can say with confidence that they would be less likely to weigh you down. Let us see how we can leverage what we practice in these meditation sessions to get to this even-keeled, resilient state. We all experience some degree of peace and calm when we meditate on transcendental energy in these sessions. The key, though, would be if we can somehow feel the presence of this energy even outside of these meditation sessions. If we are able to achieve this, then as we go about our daily lives, we might be able to enjoy that same peace and calm throughout the day. If we can do that, we would undoubtedly become more resilient. When events happen that pull us down, the positivity from this energy would keep us buoyed up. This practice of associating with the transcendental energy outside of the meditation sessions is generally a stepwise process as it develops. At the outset, one starts by consciously trying to feel the positive and calming influence of this energy during times of stress when we face adverse circumstances. And one would lean on this energy to recover quickly. Later, when this positive energy becomes our constant companion, one acquires the ability that even when faced with severe hardships, one remains calm and even-keeled. When this stage is reached, any adversity would be unsuccessful at dislodging us from the permanent state of eternal bliss and joy that we constantly find ourselves in. While this is easy to describe and talk about, it is not easy to achieve. But any practice we learn and spend time on improves us every day. So we hope that as we continue to practice meditating on transcendental light every day for a few minutes regularly, as described by our Guru Maharaj, Dr. Chaturbhut Sahai Ji, then slowly but surely we will move towards achieving the target state of the highest levels of mental resilience, peace, light, and love. Namaskar.
You know, I personally feel that, some of us in satsang are very, very fortunate who have seen some of the leaders. They didn't want to be called gurus. They didn't want to have any, special attire or even special title. They were like normal people like us, but they were very, very, very different. I have seen multiple times and multiple generations, and not just leaders. Actually, I have seen at all levels, like leadership can be demonstrated at any level. Similarly, resilience can be demonstrated by anyone who uh, pursues the ability to develop that. And that's this practice all about. So let's get into it. So first, mental resilience, and then build on one end physical, or actually physical well-being, and so health is all interconnected. And on physical and mental well-being, you build upon your wisdom, light, love and peace, light being knowledge. And love is where you realize that how interconnected you are. So being in satsang is to be with this transcendental energy, because you don't interact with the negativity, you interact with the positivity of this universe. There's plenty. We just have oriented ourselves differently. I was just thinking about that sun has so much energy, but sometimes the cloud come, they're temporary, they have no real ability to cover up uh, such an enormous source of energy, but they do. So let's, you know, declutter our lives from those clouds and sit in front of this transcendental light and let us soak up that energy. That's what we do now. So sit in a relaxed posture, eyes lightly closed, because every time your body moves, your mind moves with it. Sensory input through the eyes, both we will minimize, and then focus on any source. So this is very flexible, very open system where you can decide what source of energy you want. But at the end of the day, this tremendous source of cosmic energy, which transcends the world, is right here, right now, and it's entering our heart and distributing throughout our body. So you're not doing anything, you're not, you know, into any activity. You are just observing this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming completely and totally immersed in this light. Mind wanders away, which it will, that's natural. Just bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that transcendental energy in form of light is entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you are becoming one with this light, getting in unison with this energy. We'll start with music. Music helps concentration, and then music fades away and we go into deep silent meditation, and then we transition out with music again. Let's start. We are also celebrating Guru Maharaj's birthday this weekend. Um, and as we were listening, these days I think that what he started, uh, Ramashram Satsang Matra, if it was starting today or in today's world, I think it would be called School of Mental Resilience. But it doesn't stop there. What Guru Maharaj said was that first, through meditation, uh, bring out uh, the dormant mental capabilities, let them enable them. Uh, and once you do that, what happens uh, is that people potentially get distracted because not all mental capabilities give you, uh, positive results. Because as he has mentioned in his books several times, that ego, power, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely, etc., etc. So even when you become more powerful internally, uh, and we haven't talked that much about the hurdles and the challenges of this journey, which Guru Maharaj in his 28 chapter, 7-volume book, uh, when he describes his journey, there's so many things that could distract you, take you off on a different path. But what he said was that if you don't get distracted, if you don't get, uh, you know, uh, even like people would say, oh, you have this, you have that, go do this and do that. And that could be a distraction, because what he said, if you don't get distracted, then you uplift yourself further into the, call it a spiritual awareness zone, or higher consciousness, higher awareness, whatever you call that. In prior sessions, we have talked about love, light, and peace. These three words, in their purest form and at the uh, highest level, light takes away darkness, it's knowledge, it is a universally understood phenomena which talks about, uh, so all religions talk about light as God. And, uh, you know, love, because so, uh, you know, uh, it's also knowledge, or gyan is how you start looking at nature, people, consciousness, in a different way. So once the light comes, love automatically happens after that. So from Vigyanmay Kosh to Anandamay Kosh, or from the realm of light to, or knowledge, to the realm of love. Um, and once you understand that how integral everything is to your own health and happiness, um, your actions, and as we were just, listening, your behaviors change, your, the brain functions even change. And that's when Guru Maharaj says that you get to this even keel, or state of peace. Peace he describes as where there is no good or bad desire. We don't even understand the basics of peace, because if there are ups and downs, there is no peace. If there is, you're connecting yourself to the world, which is temporary and changing, there will be no peace. So world doesn't have peace. Peace is within you, and that's where you need to connect to, and that's what we just practiced, and that's what he talked about. So it's not just school of mental resilience, but also school of mental resilience and spiritual awareness. And that would be SOMRASA, so Somras. And Somras in the Vedas is something that gives you, eternal life, in the sense that it, takes you to a level which, you know, normally you wouldn't be at. So anyway, so I was just thinking what Guru Maharaj has started, a century ago, is, I think, more valuable today, and it is so important that we become resilient, and then not only have love, light, and peace within our lives, but help others to achieve that. So to talk a little more about mental resilience, Arvindji, you there?
नमस्कार पूज्य भैया, चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम, गुरु दरबार में सबको कोटि कोटि प्रणाम. What can I say? I mean, Anita ji has spelled out absolutely everything, that truly needs to be said about resilience, and so very fortunate to join. I'm at a loss of saying anything really.
You
If you
were
wish.
yeah, please.
Yeah. I did, as you suggested, a little bit of research, and one of the papers in Harvard Review of Psychiatry, published in 2020, tries to describe resilience in its own way. But truly, everything that needs to be said has been said. I'll simply read from the paper a couple of points. Multiple scientific research studies suggest that over time, long-term meditation practice promotes greater awareness and acceptance of emotional experiences rather than the suppression of emotions by top-down inhibitory control. Effective strategies decrease the subjective experience of negative emotion and its psychological correlates, and are associated with long-term efficacy and resilience in daily life. The best strategy is cognitive reappraisal. So basically, as Guru Maharaj has said, and as you've said, that if you're going to build a dam, you create a diversion in advance. So the pressure of the water is much less, and you're able to create an effective dam and harness the energy accordingly. Similarly, this study talks about cognitive reappraisal of the conscious reinterpretation of situations in a way that alerts or that alters its meaning and lessens the emotional negative impacts. So reappraisal may be one of the mechanisms through which meditation improves emotional regulation and ameliorates harmful emotions and anxiety and other negative effects upon one's life. This essentially leads the practitioner developing resilience in life, so cognitive resilience and physical resilience, regardless of external negative life events. So that's the paragraph that I wanted to simply read out with your kind permission, Bhaiya. But everything that needs to be said has kindly been said already. Thank you.
So anybody online, any thoughts, comments, Liz, Rich?
Happy Saturday, everyone. It's always a very deep pleasure for me to meditate with you all. It is the highlight of my week, one of the highlights of my week. And I thank you all. I don't know that I have much to say, except it's just everything that you've been talking about this morning, building mental resilience. It really just resonates with me. I think there's so many shifts that we go throughout our lifetime. So many changes. But if you could build that strength through this, through the practice of meditation, it will assist you in being able to weather any change. Particularly those changes that you might not like or that might be challenging. And I agree. I mean, I've read as well that, doing this kind of practice can change the way your brain functions. I mean, it could change the way you think, and just the way your brain functions. And I think it's incredibly helpful. So everything that you're saying totally makes sense to me.
Pradeep, anything you want to add?
Not right now.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that when, some of these sessions after the practice, it's hard to even talk anything because it just shifts you back. Anything else before we wrap up? Any questions, comments?
Is mental resilience and perseverance are the synonym? Are they same thing?
So mental resilience and perseverance. Wow. So actually, for some strange reason, I was thinking about perseverance in the context of certain things I stubbornly pursue. And this was, as an aside. So perseverance is to continue along your path. Probably you need some resilience because when the headwinds come, you will get distracted or you will get swayed away. But perseverance is more of staying the path, while resilience is something that makes you stay the path, right? And now that we're talking a little more about what it means and doesn't mean, something else that I had been, so I read one of the books, Dalai Lama wrote with the doctor here. And what they talked about was that there is so much work on psychology, understanding, various ways in which we get challenged, right? And focus was more on what is the problem and how do we solve the problem. But if we go back in Indian context, Kabir Das ji said that if you focus on the solution in a way that you are prepared, then the problems probably won't come, or if they come, you will be able to deal with it. I think same thing is with resilience. That I actually, because this is so, others are helping, but I have been thinking about what is it and how do you build it and why we should go after it. And what I find is that most of the material is that if we hit some life event, some grief, that's when resilience is important. But I think Guru Maharaj's view was build resilience anyway. It is like preparation for war. War may or may not happen, but you're prepared. So that's how we should live our lives. To be resilient is a way of life, and we should lead that way. We should prepare, because I mean, I I would have met a lot more resilient people if it was more common. But what I find throughout my career, my life, satsang, even in satsang, people say they are pursuing satsang, but they are not resilient. Why? Because there's some, like one leak can drown the, ship. That's how. So resilience is like building a ship that can go through rough waters. If it has leaks, it won't. So thinking in terms of energy, yes, you can energize yourself. People talk about embodying energy and imbibing and manifesting. Yes, yes, yes. But then how many can actually absorb and store and keep it for the rainy day? Right? It's like my finances.
Can I jump in and add one other point, actually?
Sure.
Um, I think meditation is also good not just to weather storms. I actually think that there's a benefit in having a stable, sort of even keel perspective. And even when someone is jubilant or a joy, there's a lot of like dopamine happening. That's not that great either, in my opinion. I think it's actually much better to have an even keel perspective, because sometimes, if we swing the other way and things are like amazing, illusions can detract you. I mean, so I feel like having an even keel is the best, and meditation helps with that, I think, personally.
Yeah, totally agree. I somehow, with every comment, I kind of go back and years and years ago, my uncle was it was his birthday, and people clapped after satsang. There was, and he said, "Oh no, that's not okay, because that takes away the serene and positive environment and the energy into a different direction." So, Luz, you somehow reminded me of that. It's yeah, even keel. So ups and downs, like flatten them out. Okay. On that note, I think so. As uh, you know, there's the tradition that you know. Uh, if we want to extend the effect of meditation, uh, you know, um, food. So if you keep anything that uh, is with you while you meditate, so the energy that is energizing you would be energized, would be energizing that food as well. And so when you consume it, that state, because that food stays with you, the energy stays with you. So that has been a tradition in most religions, that food is always part of so I think so we'll just meditate for another minute and see that this food is also energized with the same energy that we are trying to imbibe. And let's meditate for a minute or two again. Okay, so happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we were here in Satsang, and um, see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.